The space around the small blue planet was quiet, too quiet for what was about to happen. Admiral Krethuk stood on the bridge of his massive warship called Eternal Conquest. His 4 red eyes looked at the screen showing Earth. The planet looked so small and helpless from where he stood. The Galactic Dominion had ruled over 300 star systems for thousands of years. Their red warships were feared across the galaxy. Every alien race knew the symbol of the Dominion. It meant death for those who did not bow down. Now they had come to add another world to their empire. Commander Velther walked up to Admiral Krethuk. In his clawed hands he held a datapad with strange writing on it. The message was from the humans on the blue planet below. Velther read it out loud to the bridge crew. To any hostile forces approaching Earth, you have been warned. Turn back now while you still can. The alien crew started making clicking and hissing sounds. They were laughing at the human message. How could such a weak species threaten the mighty Dominion? These humans had barely left their own planet. They had no great warships. They had no powerful weapons. They were nothing compared to the Dominion. Admiral Krethuk smiled with his sharp teeth showing. These humans think they can scare us with words. Show them what real power looks like. Far below on Earth, Commander Jinwoo Park stood in a room filled with glowing screens. The Seoul Defense Command Center was hidden deep underground. No one on the surface knew it existed. Jinwoo watched the red dots on his screen. Each dot was an alien warship. There were so many of them. Lieutenant So-Young Kim was working at her computer. Her fingers moved quickly over the keys. She was talking to defense stations all around the world. Beijing station ready, Moscow station ready, New York station ready. Her voice was calm, but Jinwoo could see the worry in her eyes. How many ships do they have? Jinwoo asked. Over 250, So-Young replied. More than we expected. Jinwoo nodded. They had known this day would come. The warnings they sent to the aliens were not lies. They were not trying to trick them. The warnings were real. The aliens should have listened. Dr. Dong-Hyun Lee walked into the command center. He was the smartest man Jinwoo had ever met. Dr. Lee had spent the last 10 years studying alien technology. He knew things about the universe that most humans could not understand. The systems are ready, Dr. Lee said. All defense networks are online. The moon bases are powered up. The asteroid platforms are active. Jinwoo looked surprised. Moon bases, asteroid platforms, we have been busy. Dr. Lee smiled. The aliens think we are primitive. They think we just learned to fly in space. They do not know what we have been doing for the last 20 years. The truth was that humans had been preparing for this day for a very long time. The first alien ship had crashed on Earth 30 years ago. The government told people it was a weather balloon. But it was not. It was a scout ship from a friendly alien race. The friendly aliens had warned Earth about the Dominion. They told humans that the red warships would come. They would try to take over Earth. The friendly aliens gave humans some of their technology. They taught humans how to build better computers. They showed humans how to make stronger metals. They helped humans learn to hide their activities from alien sensors. Dr. Lee had worked with the friendly aliens for years. He learned their language. He studied their science. He took their technology and made it better. Human minds work differently from alien minds. Humans could think of new ways to use old ideas. The Dominion fleet is moving past Jupiter. So-Young reported, they are not slowing down. Jinwoo pressed a button on his desk. Screens around the world showed the same message. This is Commander Park. Operation Terra Shield is now active. All stations report status. Voices came from speakers around the room. London station ready. Tokyo station ready. Sydney station ready. Mexico City station ready. One by one, every hidden base on Earth reported they were ready, but Earth was not the only place with defenses. On the moon, machines had been working for 15 years. They dug tunnels under the surface. They built factories in the deep craters. They made weapons that could reach across space. Captain Heijin Cho was sitting in one of those moon bases. His base was called Luna Station 7. It was built inside a mountain on the dark side of the moon. The aliens could not see it from space. Captain Cho had been living on the moon for 3 years. He missed Earth, but he knew his job was important. "Captain, we have 47 large ships and over 200 smaller ones," his radar operator reported. "They are moving fast. They will reach Mars in 6 hours. Captain Cho looked at his weapons display. He had 12 rail guns under his command. Each rail gun could fire a metal rod at 1/3 the speed of light. The rods were made of tungsten. They were harder than diamond. When they hit something, they would go right through it. "Are the gravity wave generators ready?" Captain Cho asked. "Yes, sir. Dr. Park says they are working perfectly." Dr. Yoonji Park was the smartest woman on the moon. She had figured out how to bend space and time. Her gravity wave generators could grab enemy missiles and throw them back. They could also make friendly ships move faster than should be possible. The alien fleet kept moving toward Earth. They had no idea what was waiting for them. Admiral Krethok was looking at star charts. He was planning how to divide up the Earth among his commanders. The blue planet had lots of water and good air. It would make a nice vacation spot for Dominion officers. "Admiral, we are detecting some energy readings from the third planet's moon," his science officer reported. "What kind of energy?" Admiral Krethok asked. "Unknown, sir. It does not match any technology in our databases." Admiral Krethok was not worried. Primitive species sometimes had strange energy sources. Maybe the humans had learned to use their moon's gravity for power. It did not matter. The Dominion had weapons that could destroy planets. "Ignore it," the Admiral said. "Continue toward the target." Back on Earth, Commander Jinwoo Park was getting reports from all over the solar system. Hidden bases on asteroids were powering up. Secret stations near Jupiter were getting ready. Ships that looked like space rocks were moving into position. "The friendly aliens are asking if we need help," So Young reported. "Tell them we appreciate the offer, but we can handle this ourselves," Jinwoo replied. The friendly aliens had taught humans many things, but humans had learned to do things the aliens could not do. Human brains worked faster in some ways. Human hearts were braver. Human hands could build things that alien minds could not imagine. Dr. Lee was watching the enemy fleet on his screen. "They are not turning back. They really think they can just take our planet. Then we will have to show them they are wrong," Jinwoo said. The Dominion fleet was now passing the asteroid belt. They did not know that many of the asteroids were not real rocks. They were human-made bases covered with fake rock. Inside each base were weapons and fighters waiting for the signal to attack. "Send the final warning," Jinwoo ordered. A new message went out to the alien fleet. It was broadcast on every frequency. It was sent in 200 different alien languages. The message was simple and clear. "This is your final warning. You are entering Earth's solar system with hostile intent. Turn back now or face the consequences. Earth defends itself." Admiral Krethek received the message. He read it and threw the datapad across the bridge. "Fire on those message beacons. Show these humans what happens when they threaten the Dominion." The alien warships opened fire. Bright energy beams shot out across space. They hit the message beacons and destroyed them. The alien crew cheered. They thought they had won their first victory, but the beacons were not important. They were just radios floating in space. The real defenses were still hidden. The real weapons were still waiting. Commander Jinwoo Park watched the enemy fleet destroy the beacons. They made their choice. "Signal all stations. The battle for Earth begins now." All across the solar system, human defenders got ready. The aliens thought they were attacking a weak, primitive planet. They were about to learn that Earth was not weak. Earth was not primitive. Earth was ready for war. The Dominion had been warned. But they entered Earth's atmosphere anyway. Now they would learn why that was the biggest mistake they had ever made. The Dominion fleet moved through space like a red storm. Admiral Krethek stood on his bridge watching the small blue planet grow larger on his screen. Soon his warriors would land on Earth. Soon another world would bow before the Dominion. How Long until we reach the planet, he asked his navigation officer. 6 hours, Admiral. We will be in weapons range in 4 hours. Admiral Krethek smiled. In 4 hours, the humans would see the true power of the Dominion. Their pathetic warnings would be forgotten. Their world would become another jewel in the Dominion crown, but the Admiral did not know that human eyes were watching his every move. Deep under the moon's surface, Captain Heijin Cho was getting ready to spring humanity's first trap. Luna. Station 7 had been built in complete secrecy. The aliens had no idea it existed. Captain, we have weapons lock on the enemy flagship, his gunner reported. All railguns are charged and ready. Captain Cho looked at his tactical display. The Dominion fleet was spread out across millions of kilometers. They thought they were safe because they were still far from Earth. They did not know that human weapons could reach them even here. Not yet, Captain Cho said. Wait for the signal from Earth Command. On Earth, Commander Jinwoo Park was coordinating the defense of humanity's homeworld. Lieutenant Colonel Min Soo-yoon stood beside him reading reports from bases around the solar system. Every hidden outpost was ready. Every secret weapon was powered up. The enemy fleet is maintaining formation, Min Soo reported. They are not scanning for hidden bases. They think we are defenseless. Jinwoo nodded. Good. The longer they stay ignorant, the better our chances. Signal Luna Station 7. Begin Phase 1. The signal traveled at the speed of light from Earth. To the moon, Captain Cho received it and smiled. This is it, people. Show the aliens what human engineering can do. Fire Railgun Battery 1. The first railgun emerged from its hidden position under the lunar surface. It looked like a massive metal tube pointed at the stars. Inside the tube, a tungsten rod waited. The rod was 3 meters long and made of the hardest metal humans could create. Electric power flowed through the railgun. Magnetic field stronger than Earth's entire magnetic field grabbed the tungsten rod. In 1/10 of a second, the rod was moving at 100,000 kilometers per second. It streaked through space like a silver bullet. Admiral Krethek was reviewing invasion plans when his ship shook. Warning alarms started blaring. His tactical officer was shouting about massive energy readings from the moon. What hit us? The Admiral demanded. Unknown, sir. It appears to be a kinetic projectile. It passed right through our shields and punched a hole in our hull. The Admiral could not believe what he was hearing. That is impossible. Our shields can stop anything. The projectile was moving at 30% light speed, sir. Our shields are not designed for that velocity. Another railgun fired from the moon. This tungsten rod hit a Dominion cruiser and went completely through it. The alien ship split in half. Its crew had no time to escape. Return fire, Admiral Krethek ordered. Destroy that moon. The Dominion warships turned their weapons toward Luna. Bright energy beams shot across space. But when they reached the moon, something strange happened. The beams bent and twisted. They curved away from their targets and shot off into empty space. Dr. Yoonji Park was watching from her control room deep inside the moon. Her gravity wave generators were working perfectly. The alien energy weapons were being deflected by artificial gravity fields. The beams that should have destroyed human bases were being sent harmlessly into space. Gravity field generators operating at full power, she reported to Captain Cho. Enemy weapons are being deflected. No damage to our installations, Captain Cho grinned. Fire all railguns, full barrage. 12 railguns fired at once. 12 tungsten rods streaked toward the Dominion fleet. Each rod was aimed at a different ship. Each rod was moving fast enough to punch through any armor. The Dominion fleet was in chaos. Ships that had seemed invincible were being destroyed by simple metal rods. Admiral Krethek watched 3 of his cruisers explode. He had never seen weapons like these before. How are they doing this? He shouted at his science officer. The projectiles are too fast for our point defense systems. They are too dense for our energy shields. We have no defense against this attack. But the humans were not done. All across the solar system, hidden bases were revealing themselves. What the aliens had thought were asteroids were actually weapons platforms. What they had thought were space debris were actually human ships. Lieutenant Commander Jae-hoon Park was commanding one of these hidden ships. The vessel was called Indomitable, and it had been disguised as a broken satellite. Now it was powering up its engines and weapons. This is indomitable to all hidden vessels. Execute Phase 2, reveal positions and engage the enemy. 30 human ships that had been invisible suddenly appeared on Dominion sensors. They had been hiding using adaptive camouflage technology. The alien fleet found themselves surrounded by enemies they had not known existed. Captain Soo-jin Lee was commanding the lead attack vessel. Her ship was equipped with weapons that used both human and alien technology. The combination was deadly. Target the enemy command ship, she ordered. Fire plasma cannons. The human ships opened fire with weapons the aliens had never seen before. These were not the crude energy beams the Dominion used. These were focused plasma streams that could cut through anything. The alien ships started taking heavy damage. Admiral Krethek realized he was in serious trouble. His mighty fleet was being torn apart by a species he had thought was primitive. Signal the reserves, we need reinforcements. But his communications officer had bad news. Sir, our long-range communications are being jammed. We cannot contact the reserve fleet. The jamming was coming from Dr. Young-ho Choi's facility on Earth. He had been studying alien communication systems for years. He knew exactly how to disrupt their signals. Jamming field is at maximum strength, Dr. Choi reported to Earth Command. The aliens cannot call for help. Commander Jin-woo Park was pleased with how the battle was going. The first phase of Earth's defense was working perfectly. But he knew the real test was still to come. Signal all forces. Begin Phase 3. Show them what human cooperation can accomplish. The order went out to every human defender in the solar system. Phase 3 was about to begin. The aliens thought they had seen the worst of human defenses. They were wrong, Captain. Hei Jin-cho received new targeting data from Earth. The information was coming from sensors all over the solar system. Human bases were sharing data instantly. The aliens were facing a coordinated defense they could not understand. We have complete sensor coverage of the enemy fleet, his tactical officer reported. Earth Command is feeding us real-time targeting data. This was something the Dominion had never encountered. Their fleets fought as individual ships. Each captain made his own decisions. But the humans were fighting as one mind with many bodies. Dr. Yunji Park was coordinating the gravity wave generators. She could create artificial gravity fields anywhere in the solar system. Enemy missiles were being grabbed and thrown back at their own ships. Gravity field manipulation is working perfectly, she reported. Enemy weapons are being neutralized. The Dominion fleet was taking heavy losses. Ships that had conquered hundreds of worlds were being destroyed by humans who had barely left their own planet. Admiral Krethek could not understand how this was possible. Sir, we are detecting massive energy buildups throughout the solar system, his science officer reported. The humans have installations we never detected. The Admiral was learning that humans were very good at hiding things. They had been preparing for this battle for 20 years. Every asteroid had been examined. Every piece of space debris had been checked. Many of them were actually human weapons platforms. We need to retreat, his tactical officer suggested. We are outnumbered and outgunned, but Admiral Krethek was too proud to retreat. The Dominion had never been defeated by a primitive species. He would not be the first admiral to run from humans. Continue the attack, he ordered. We will crush these humans. Back on Earth, Commander Jin-woo Park was watching the battle unfold. The aliens were fighting bravely, but they were fighting stupidly. They had no idea what they were really facing. The enemy admiral is refusing to retreat, Lieutenant So-young Kim reported. He is ordering his fleet to continue the attack. Jin-woo shook his head. Then we will have to show him the truth. Signal all stations. Begin Phase 4. Let them see what Earth is really capable of. The next phase of the battle was about to begin. The aliens had seen human weapons. They had seen human coordination. But they had not yet seen human innovation. That was about to change. Admiral Krethak was about to learn that humans did not just copy alien technology, they improved it. They made it better. They made it deadlier. The Dominion fleet was about to face weapons that did not exist anywhere else in the galaxy. They were about to face human creativity. The Dominion fleet was bleeding ships, but Admiral Krethak refused to give up. He had lost 12 warships, but he still had over 200 vessels. Surely that was enough to defeat one primitive planet. Signal all ships, he commanded. Form. Attack formation. We will overwhelm them with numbers. The alien fleet moved into their standard attack pattern. It was a formation they had used to conquer hundreds of worlds. Ships spread out in a wide arc. Each ship would fire at the same time. No enemy had ever survived this attack, but the humans were not like other enemies. Captain Sujin Lee was watching the aliens form their attack pattern. She was smiling because she knew something the aliens did not. Human ships could do things that alien ships could not. All ships prepare for dimensional jump, she ordered. Execute on my mark. The human ships were equipped with technology that the aliens had never seen. Dr. Young Ho Choi had figured out how to make ships exist in 2 dimensions at the same time. The ships could be in normal space and hyperspace simultaneously. Jump, Captain Lee commanded. The human ships suddenly vanished from the alien sensors. One moment they were there. The next moment they were gone. The Dominion fleet was firing at empty space. Where did they go? Admiral Krethak demanded. Unknown, sir. They just disappeared. No energy signatures. No trace of them anywhere. The Admiral was angry and confused. Ships could not just vanish, there had to be an explanation. But before he could figure it out, the human ships reappeared. They were behind the Dominion fleet. Captain Lee had jumped her ships through hyperspace. The journey had taken only seconds. Now the human vessels were in perfect position to attack the alien rear. Guard. Fire all weapons, she ordered. The human ships opened fire with everything they had. Plasma cannons, rail guns, gravity bombs, energy beams. The alien ships were caught completely by surprise. Lieutenant Commander Jae-hoon Park was piloting his ship through maneuvers that should have been impossible. His vessel was turning and spinning in ways that should have killed his crew. But human bodies had been modified to handle extreme forces. Engaging inertial dampeners, he reported. Beginning combat maneuvers. The human ships moved like dancers. In space, they could change direction instantly. They could accelerate and decelerate without warning. The alien pilots had never seen anything like it. Dr. Yoonji Park was coordinating the gravity fields from her moon base. She was creating gravitational anomalies that helped human ships move faster while slowing down alien vessels. Gravity manipulation is working perfectly, she reported. Human ships are moving at 3 times normal speed. Enemy ships are being slowed by artificial gravity wells. The Dominion fleet was in chaos. Their standard attack formation was useless against enemies that could teleport. Their weapons could not hit targets that moved like ghosts. Admiral Krethak was beginning to understand that he had made a terrible mistake. These humans were not primitive. They were not defenseless. They were something the Dominion had never faced before. Sir, we are receiving a transmission from the humans, his communications officer reported. Put it on screen, the Admiral ordered. The face of Dr. Young Ho Choi appeared on the bridge screen. He was broadcasting from Earth's primary communication center. His expression was calm, but his eyes were hard. Admiral Krethak, Dr. Choi said. I am Dr. Young Ho Choi of Earth Defense Command. I have something to tell you. Something you need to know. The Admiral leaned forward. Speak human. You think you are fighting a primitive species. You think Earth is defenseless? You are wrong. We have been preparing for your arrival for 15 years. Admiral Krethak felt a chill run down his spine. What do you mean? Every crashed alien vessel on Earth was not an accident. Every first contact was planned. We have been in communication with your enemies for decades. We know everything about Dominion technology. We know everything about Dominion tactics. We know everything about you." The truth was worse than Admiral Krethek had feared. The humans had been planning this defense for years. Every advantage the Dominion thought they had was actually a weakness. "The Zephyrians told us you were coming," Dr. Choi continued. "They gave us our first alien technology. The Helix Confederation shared their knowledge of your weapons. The Crystal Collective taught us how to hide our activities from your sensors." The Admiral realized he was not just fighting Earth, he was fighting a coalition of alien species. Species that had been conquered or threatened by the Dominion. Species that wanted revenge? "You see, Admiral," Dr. Choi said, "you made enemies of too many races. They were waiting for someone strong enough to stand against you. They found that someone in humanity," the communication ended. Admiral Krethek stared at the blank screen. He was beginning to understand the full scope of what he faced. This was not just a battle for Earth. This was a war for the future of the galaxy. Captain Sujin Lee was coordinating the next phase of the human attack. Her ships had proven they could outmaneuver the aliens. Now it was time to show them what human weapons could really do. "All ships activate adaptive weapon systems," she ordered. "Target enemy shield frequencies." The human weapons began to change. They were analyzing the alien shields and adapting their energy patterns. Within minutes, they were firing energy beams that could pass right through Dominion shields. "Shields are ineffective," an alien tactical officer reported. "Human weapons are adapting to our defense frequencies." This was another human innovation. The aliens had static shield systems. They used the same frequencies all the time. But human weapons could learn and adapt. They could find weaknesses and exploit them. Lieutenant Commander Jae-hoon Park was using another human advantage. His ship's artificial intelligence was learning from every battle. It was getting smarter and more effective with each engagement. "Combat system is operational," he reported, predicting enemy movements with 90% accuracy. The human ships were no longer just reacting to alien attacks. They were anticipating them. They knew where the aliens would be before the aliens knew themselves. Dr. Yoon-ji Park was expanding the gravity field network. She was creating artificial gravity wells throughout the solar system. The alien ships were being caught in invisible traps. "Gravity net is fully deployed," she reported. "Enemy vessels are being channeled into predetermined zones." The Dominion fleet found themselves being herded like animals. Invisible gravity fields were pushing them toward areas where human weapons were concentrated. They were being led into a trap. Admiral Krethek was watching his fleet be systematically destroyed. The humans were not just fighting. They were demonstrating their superiority. They were showing the Dominion that their age of conquest was over. "Sir, we have lost 40% of our vessels," his tactical officer reported. "We must retreat." But retreat was not possible. The human gravity fields were preventing the alien ships from escaping. The Dominion fleet was trapped in Earth's solar system. "Signal all ships," the Admiral ordered. "Prepare for final assault. We will ram their positions if necessary." It was a desperate plan. The Dominion would sacrifice their ships to destroy the human defenses. It was the only way to salvage something from this disaster, but the humans were ready for this too. Commander Jin-woo Park had anticipated that the aliens would try a suicide attack. He had prepared for it. "The aliens are preparing to ram our positions," Lieutenant So-young Kim reported. "They are accelerating toward our defense platforms." Jin-woo smiled grimly. "Then we will show them why that is a bad idea. Activate the asteroid defense grid." Throughout the solar system, thousands of hidden weapons platforms came online. What the aliens had thought were asteroids were actually massive weapons systems. They had been hiding in plain sight for years. The fake asteroids opened fire with weapons that dwarfed anything the Dominion had ever seen. Massive particle beams, gravity bombs, quantum torpedoes. The alien ships were being hit by firepower that could destroy planets. "Impossible," Admiral Krethek whispered. "How many weapons do they have?" The answer was simple. The humans had turned their entire solar system into a weapon. Every asteroid, every moon, every piece of space debris. All of it was part of Earth's defense network. Dr. Young Ho Choi appeared on the alien communication screen again. Admiral Krethek, this is your last chance. Surrender now and your crews will be spared. Continue fighting and you will all die. The admiral looked around his bridge. Half his crew was dead, his ship was falling apart. His fleet was destroyed, but his pride would not let him surrender. The Dominion does not surrender to primitives, he declared. Dr. Choi looked sad. Then you have chosen death. I am sorry, Admiral. Your crews deserve better leaders. The human attacks intensified. The remaining Dominion ships were being systematically destroyed. The greatest fleet in galactic history was being defeated by a species that had barely left their home planet, but the humans were not finished. They had one more surprise for the aliens. Something that would change everything. Captain Sujin Lee received a new set of orders from Earth Command. All ships prepare for Phase 5. It is time to show them who our real friends are. The aliens were about to learn that Earth was not alone. The humans had allies, powerful allies, and they were coming. Admiral Krethek had surrendered, but the battle was not over. The Dominion had more fleets throughout the galaxy. When they learned what happened at Earth, they would come for revenge. The humans knew this. They had been preparing for it. Commander Jinwoo Park was receiving reports from all over the solar system. The immediate threat was over, but the real war was just beginning. The Dominion would not accept defeat easily. Sir, we are detecting hyperspace signatures throughout the galaxy, Lieutenant So Young Kim reported. Multiple Dominion fleets are moving toward Earth. Jinwoo had expected this. The Dominion had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. They would not give up their power without a fight, but the humans were ready. Signal Admiral Yu on Europa, Jinwoo ordered. It is time to reveal our true fleet. Far away on Jupiter's moon, Europa Admiral Sun Ho, Yu was waiting for this moment. For 20 years he had been building humanity's real military force. The ships that had fought the first Dominion fleet were just the beginning. All ships prepare for launch, Admiral Yu commanded. Operation Starfall begins now. The ice on Europa's surface began to crack and shift. Massive hangar doors opened that had been hidden for decades. From beneath the ice came ships that the galaxy had never seen before. These were not the small, fast ships that had fought the first battle. These were massive warships designed to take on entire fleets. They were built using the best technology from dozens of alien races. They were armed with weapons that could destroy planets. Captain Yoon Soo Han was commanding the flagship of this new fleet. Her ship was called Defiant, and it was the most powerful vessel humans had ever built. It was 3 kilometers long and armed with weapons that could crack moons. Defiant is ready for launch, she reported. All systems are green. We are ready to take the fight to the Dominion. The human fleet that emerged from Europa was larger than anyone had imagined. 200 massive warships, 500 support vessels, 1,000 fighter craft. It was a force that could challenge the Dominion on equal terms, but the humans had more than just ships. They had something the Dominion had never faced. They had the support of every species the Dominion had ever conquered. Captain Theo Young Kim was commanding the Allied Coordination Center. Her job was to coordinate attacks with alien allies throughout the galaxy. The humans were not fighting alone. Allied fleets are reporting ready, she said. The Zephyrians have mobilized their entire navy. The Helix Confederation is launching simultaneous attacks on Dominion supply lines. The Crystal Collective is jamming Dominion communications. This was the real scope of human preparation. They had not just built defenses around Earth. They had organized a galaxy-wide rebellion against the Dominion. Every conquered species was rising up at once. Admiral Sun Ho Yu was studying the tactical display showing Dominion fleet movements. The aliens were moving their forces to defend their core worlds. They were abandoning their outer territories to protect their home systems. The Dominion is pulling back, he reported. They are concentrating their fleets around their capital world. This was exactly what the humans had wanted. The Dominion was giving up their empire to protect their home, but the humans had no intention of letting them keep even that. Signal all fleets. Admiral Yu ordered. Begin Operation Starfall. We are taking the fight to the Dominion capital. The human fleet began moving through hyperspace toward the heart of the Dominion Empire. They were no longer defenders. They were attackers. They were going to end the Dominion's rule once and for all. Lieutenant Colonel Wu Jin-cho was coordinating the gravity well generators throughout the galaxy. These devices had been secretly installed on hundreds of worlds over the past decade. Now they were all activating at once. Gravity well network is active, he reported. Dominion fleets are being trapped in their home systems. They cannot escape. The gravity wells were preventing Dominion ships from using hyperspace. They were trapped in normal space where human weapons could reach them. The aliens were being hunted in their own territory. Dr. Sang-ho Park was coordinating the solar collection. Arrays that had been built around dozens of stars. The humans were no longer just using their own sun. They were using the power of stars throughout the galaxy. Stellar Energy Network is operational, he reported. We have access to the power of 27 different stars. The human weapons were now powered by the energy of multiple suns. They could fire continuously without running out of power. They could maintain their assault indefinitely. Captain Yun-Soo Han was leading the human fleet into Dominion territory. Her ships were encountering the aliens' most powerful defenses. But human technology was proving superior. Enemy fortress detected, her tactical officer reported. It is armed with planet killer weapons, Captain Han smiled. Then we will show them what human planet killers can do. Fire the quantum torpedoes. The human weapons were not just more powerful than alien weapons, they were smarter. The quantum torpedoes could phase through shields and armor. They could strike targets from multiple dimensions simultaneously. The Dominion fortress was destroyed in seconds. Its shields were useless against weapons that attacked from hyperspace. Its armor could not stop projectiles that existed in multiple dimensions. Admiral Sun Ho-yu was watching the battle unfold from his command ship. The Dominion was throwing everything they had at the human fleet, but their weapons were having no. The battle was reaching its climax. Admiral Krethek had lost most of his fleet, but he still refused to surrender. The remaining Dominion ships were forming a final attack formation. They would die fighting rather than admit defeat. All ships. Prepare for final assault, the Admiral ordered. Target the blue planet. If we cannot conquer it, we will destroy it. The alien warships began charging their planet killer weapons. These were weapons designed to crack worlds. They would turn Earth into a ball of molten rock. No human would survive, but the humans had been expecting this. Commander Jinwoo Park was watching the alien ships charge their weapons. He was not worried. Earth had defenses the aliens could not imagine. They are preparing to destroy the planet. Lieutenant So-young Kim reported. Planet killer weapons are charging. Jinwoo smiled. Then it is time to show them what human unity can accomplish. Activate the quantum consciousness network. Deep beneath Earth's surface, a massive computer system came online. It was not like any computer the aliens had ever seen. It was connected to the minds of every human defender in the solar system. Dr. Haijin Ko had spent 10 years developing this system. It linked human minds together while allowing them to keep their individuality. The result was a collective intelligence that could think faster than any computer. Network is online, Dr. Ko reported. All human defenders are connected. We are thinking as one. Suddenly, every human ship moved in perfect coordination. Every human weapon fired at exactly the right moment. Every human defense activated simultaneously. The humans were no longer fighting as individuals. They were fighting as a single organism. Captain Soo-jin Lee felt the connection activate in her mind. She could sense every other human defender. She could feel their thoughts and emotions, but she was still herself. The network enhanced her abilities without controlling her. Network connection established, she reported. All ships are synchronized. Beginning coordinated attack. The human ships began moving in patterns that seemed impossible. They dodged alien weapons with perfect timing. They attacked weak points with surgical precision. They move like a school of fish or a flock of birds, Admiral. Krethek watched in horror as his remaining ships were picked apart. The humans were anticipating every move. They knew where his ships would be before his pilots did. "How are they doing this?" he demanded. "Unknown, sir." They appear to be sharing tactical information instantly. Their reaction time is beyond anything we have seen. The quantum consciousness network was giving humans advantages that no alien race possessed. They could share knowledge instantly. They could coordinate attacks perfectly. They could think as fast as light itself, Lieutenant Commander. Jae-hoon Park was using the network to coordinate with ships throughout the solar system. His mind was connected to hundreds of other human pilots. Together they were creating attack patterns that no single mind could devise. "Network coordination is perfect," he reported. "Enemy movements are being predicted with 100% accuracy." The alien ships were being herded into kill zones. The humans knew exactly where each ship would be at every moment. The Dominion fleet was trapped in a web of perfect prediction. Dr. Yoongi Park was using the network to coordinate gravity fields across the entire solar system. Her mind was connected to every gravity generator. She could create gravitational effects that span millions of kilometers. "Gravity coordination is active," she reported, creating system-wide gravitational anomalies. The alien ships found themselves caught in gravity fields that stretched across space. They could not escape. They could not maneuver. They were sitting ducks for human weapons, but the humans had even more surprises. Captain Seok-jin Park was commanding a new type of human vessel. His ship could phase between dimensions. It could exist in normal space and hyperspace at the same time. "Dimensional phasing is active," he reported. "Beginning multi-dimensional attack." Captain Park's ship attacked from dimensions the aliens could not see. His weapons fired from hyperspace into normal space. His ship was untouchable because it was not completely in any one dimension. The aliens had no defense against multi-dimensional attacks. Their shields only worked in normal space. Their weapons could not target enemies in hyperspace. They were helpless. Admiral Krethek was watching his fleet be destroyed by weapons and tactics that should not exist. The humans were using technologies that violated everything the Dominion knew about physics. "Sir, the enemy is using impossible technologies," his science officer reported. "They are manipulating space and time itself." The admiral was beginning to understand that he had not just attacked a primitive planet. He had attacked a species that had transcended the normal limits of technology. The humans had become something beyond what the Dominion could comprehend, but the humans were not finished. They had one more demonstration to give. Something that would show the aliens the true scope of human preparation. Commander Jin-woo Park was watching the final phase of the battle unfold. The aliens were beaten, but they still did not understand what they had faced. It was time to show them. "Activate the stellar collection arrays," he ordered. "Show them the power of a star." Throughout the solar system, massive structures began to unfold. They had been disguised as scientific instruments, but they were actually solar collectors. They could channel the power of the sun itself. Dr. Sang-ho Park was coordinating the solar collection system. He had spent 15 years building collectors that could harness stellar energy. Now they were ready to demonstrate their power. "Solar collectors are online," he reported. "We have access to the full power of our star." The human weapons began, charging with energy drawn directly from the sun. They were using the power that kept planets warm and made life possible. They were using the power of stellar fusion itself. Admiral Krethek watched the energy readings climb on his sensors. The humans were channeling more power than his entire fleet possessed. They were using their own star as a weapon. "Impossible," he whispered. "They are using stellar energy." The human weapons fired with the power of a star behind them. The energy beams were brighter than anything the aliens had ever seen. They lit up space like artificial suns. The remaining Dominion ships were vaporized instantly. The energy beams passed through their shields and armor like they were made of paper. Nothing could stand against the power of a star, but even as his fleet was Destroyed Admiral Krethek received one final shock. New ships were appearing on his sensors. Ships that were not human. Ships that belonged to other alien races. "Sir, we are detecting multiple fleet signatures," his tactical officer reported. "The Zephyrians, the Helix Confederation, the Crystal Collective, they are all here." The Admiral realized that he was not just fighting Earth, he was fighting a coalition of every race the Dominion had ever conquered or threatened. The humans had united the galaxy against the Dominion. Captain He-Jin Cho was watching the Allied fleets arrive from his moon base. The humans had spent years building alliances. They had convinced dozens of alien races to work together against the Dominion. "Allied fleets are taking position," he reported. "We have support from 43 different species." The Dominion fleet was now outnumbered 100 to 1. They faced not just human weapons, but the combined might of half the galaxy. Species that had been enemies for millennia were working together against the Dominion. Admiral Krethek looked at his tactical display. His mighty fleet was reduced to a handful of damaged ships. He faced enemies he could not defeat with weapons he could not understand. "Sir, we are receiving surrender demands from multiple species," his communications officer reported. "They are offering to spare our crews if we surrender immediately." The Admiral looked around his ruined bridge. His crew was dead or dying. His ships were falling apart. His empire's greatest fleet had been destroyed by a species that had barely left its home planet. "Open a channel to the humans," he ordered quietly. Dr. Young Ho Choi appeared on the screen. His face was serious but not angry. "Admiral Krethek, are you ready to discuss terms?" The Admiral straightened his shoulders. Even in defeat he would maintain his dignity. "What are your terms, human? Surrender your remaining ships. Your crews will be treated well. You will be taken to a neutral planet to await trial. The Dominion's age of conquest is over." Admiral Krethek looked at his tactical display one last time. He had come to Earth expecting an easy victory. Instead, he had found the end of everything. He believed in. "I surrender," he said quietly. The greatest fleet in galactic history had been defeated. The Dominion's power was broken. And it had been done by a species that the galaxy had thought was primitive. But the humans were not finished. They had proven they could defend themselves. Now they would prove they could change the galaxy. The age of conquest was over. The age of cooperation was about to begin. And it would be led by the species that had been warned to stay away from Earth. The humans had been right to send those warnings. The Dominion should have listened. But they had entered Earth's atmosphere anyway. And now they would face the consequences of that choice. The war was over, but the real work was just beginning. The Dominion Empire was gone, but the galaxy was in chaos. Millions of worlds had been freed from alien rule, but they did not know how to govern themselves. It was up to the humans to help them learn. General Taejin Park was standing in the Great Assembly Hall on the former Dominion capital world. Representatives from over 200 species had gathered to discuss the future. It was the largest gathering of alien races in galactic history. "The old empire is dead," General Park announced to the assembled delegates. "But we are not here to build a new empire. We are here to build something that has never existed before. A true galactic democracy." The alien delegates were confused. Democracy was a human concept. Most species had always been ruled by emperors or military leaders. The idea that everyone could have a voice was strange to them. President Na Young, CO, was leading the human delegation. She had been elected by the people of Earth to represent humanity in this new galactic government. She understood that this was the most important moment in galactic history. "We propose a galactic council," she explained. "Every species will have representatives. Every world will have a voice. No one will rule over others. We will make decisions together." The Zephyrian ambassador was the first to speak. "Humans saved our people from Dominion slavery. If you believe this democracy can work, we will support it." One by one, the other alien representatives agreed. The humans had proven themselves in battle. They had shown that they were not conquerors. They had earned the right to lead this new government. Dr. Mikyeon Kim was coordinating the technical aspects of the new government. Her job was to set up communication networks that could connect thousands of worlds. It was a massive undertaking, but human technology made it possible. Quantum communication network is online, she reported. Every member world can now communicate instantly with the Galactic Council. This was something the Dominion had never attempted. They had ruled through force and fear, but the humans were ruling through cooperation and communication. Every world would be connected to every other world. Captain Hyun-Woo Lee had been promoted to admiral after the war. His new job was to lead the Galactic Defense Force. This was not an army of conquest like the Dominion had used. It was a peacekeeping force designed to protect member worlds. The Defense Force is ready, Admiral Lee reported. We have volunteers from 50 different species. Human officers are training alien crews on our most advanced ships. The new military was based on cooperation rather than dominance. Human ships were being crewed by mixed species teams. Alien technology was being combined with human innovation. The result was a force more powerful than anything the galaxy had ever seen. Dr. Cheol-min Choi was working with alien scientists to develop new technologies. The war had shown what could be accomplished when different species worked together. Now they were applying that cooperation to peaceful purposes. Joint research projects are showing incredible results, he reported. Zephyrian energy systems combined with human engineering have increased efficiency by 300%. Crystal collective computation merged with human AI has created thinking machines beyond anything we imagined. The galaxy was entering a golden age of scientific advancement. Species that had been enemies for millennia were now sharing knowledge freely. Technologies that had been military secrets were being used to improve life for everyone, but not everyone was happy with the new order. Some former Dominion officers had escaped and were trying to rebuild their empire. They could not accept that. Their time was over. Captain Soo-Jin Lee was commanding the patrol ships that were hunting down these remnants. Her job was to make sure the old empire could never return. It was dangerous work, but it was necessary. Dominion remnant fleet detected in the Outer Rim, she reported. They appear to be raiding independent worlds, moving to intercept. The human ships were faster and more advanced than anything the Dominion remnants possessed, but the former Empire officers were desperate and dangerous. They would fight to the death rather than accept the new order. The battle was brief but intense. The Dominion remnants fought with the fury of the defeated, but their old technology was no match for human weapons. Their ships were destroyed and their threat was ended. Admiral Hyun-Woo Lee was coordinating similar operations throughout the galaxy. The old empire was being systematically eliminated. Soon there would be no one left who remembered the days when might made right. Final Dominion stronghold has been eliminated, he reported. The galaxy is secure. The old empire is truly dead. President Na-young Seo was addressing the Galactic Council from the new capital on Earth. The blue planet that had once been threatened by the Dominion was now the center of galactic civilization. 6 months ago, the Dominion thought Earth was a primitive world, she said. They thought humans were weak and defenseless. They were wrong about everything. The alien delegates applauded. They had seen what human determination could accomplish. They had witnessed the power of cooperation over conquest. The Dominion was warned to stay away from Earth, President Seo continued. They ignored that warning. They entered our atmosphere. Anyway, and in doing so, they discovered that the age of empires was over. The applause was thunderous. Species that had suffered under Dominion rule for centuries were finally free. The galaxy had a new chance to build something better. Dr. Young-Ho Choi was monitoring the implementation of the new Galactic Constitution. Every member world was required to respect the rights of all sentient beings. Slavery was abolished. Conquest was forbidden. Democracy was spreading throughout the galaxy. Constitutional implementation is proceeding smoothly, he reported. 95% of former Dominion worlds have ratified the new charter. The remaining 5% are expected to join within the year. The humans had accomplished something unprecedented in galactic history. They had ended an empire without replacing it with another empire. They had brought democracy to species that had never known freedom. General Tejan Park was reviewing the final reports from the war. The human losses had been minimal compared to what they had accomplished. Earth had faced the greatest military force in the galaxy and emerged victorious. Final casualty reports are in, he announced. Human military losses were less than 1%. Civilian casualties were 0. Earth was never directly threatened. The Dominion had thought they were attacking a defenseless world. Instead, they had attacked the most defended planet in the galaxy. The humans had been ready for them. Commander Jinwoo Park was back at his post in Seoul Defense Command. The center that had coordinated Earth's defense was now coordinating galactic peacekeeping operations. The screens that had once shown alien warships now showed peaceful trade routes. All systems are green, he reported. The galaxy is at peace. Lieutenant So Young Kim was working at her old station, but her job had changed completely. Instead of tracking enemy fleets, she was now coordinating scientific expeditions. The galaxy was being explored rather than conquered. Deep space exploration. Missions are reporting new discoveries daily, she announced. We have found 17 new species in the past month alone. All of them are eager to join the Galactic Council. The humans had not only saved the Galax,